Florida home sales are dropping at an alarming rate, and Florida's housing market is breaking fast. Sales volume has plunged to its lowest in over a decade. Builders are slashing prices, sellers are panicking, and buyers are backing out or canceling their contracts on home purchases left and right. And I don't suspect that this is just a slowdown. I suspect this is a full-blown affordability crisis, an affordability collapse. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. My name is Chris Igo, and if you're a returning viewer, I appreciate your participation in our journey. And I remain committed to sharing the truth, the numbers, what's really happening in the market, and can make the best decisions for yourself, for your family, and for your financial bottom line. And here's the data that nobody's really talking about. Closed sales are down 30 to 40% year over year in many key South Florida markets. And price cuts are up 65% in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County. The median days on market has more than doubled since 2023. And investor activity has fallen off a cliff, especially in Airbnb and DSCR investor markets. Pending sales are collapsing despite the mortgage rate drops, indicating that buyer confidence is gone. Bye-bye. And while mortgage rates have come down, insurance and property taxes are crushing affordability. The average home now costs 9x what the median income is, versus what it used to be not that long ago, which was 3 times the median income, which is really just a fancy way of saying that income has not kept up with inflation, and that is creating an affordability crisis of epic proportions everywhere. Property insurance has tripled in many coastal zip codes. Out-of-state migration has slowed for the first time in 5 years. And yes, it's true that there is going to be a wave of New York buyers relocating to Florida, but they can't do that instantly. It takes time to up and move and uproot your life, your business, and your family. Because truthfully, the high-income 1%ers that are in New York that are really going to be hit by the Mandami effect, they've already made the move. They're already either here or have properties here or somewhere else in the country. But those folks could always do whatever they wanted to begin with anyway. And it's going to be a lot more difficult for regular folks with regular incomes to make the move. And yes, I do think it will happen, but it's not going to happen overnight. And the unfortunate reality is the high cost of many HOAs and condo assessments is absolutely crushing investors, making it impossible for them to make a rate of return on their investments. Those high fees are killing investors' cash flow, which is creating a nightmare situation in the Florida condo market in most markets, which is no bueno for the folks who live in those condos who are getting hit with those assessments. And it's no bueno for somebody trying to buy one yet. But here's what I'm seeing on a day-to-day basis right now in today's market. As a full-time, full-service operator of a high-performance real estate and mortgage team here in South Florida that specializes in finding your dream home, dream lifestyle, and negotiating the best deal possible, here's what I'm seeing today. Luxury homes in many communities, including GL, The Bridges, Seven Bridges, Boca Bridges, Lotus, Lotus Palm, and soon to be coming Lotus Edge. There are homes sitting on the market unsold for months, in some instance, years, or damn close to it. And they're sitting despite the fact that they have massively reduced their price, which, to be clear, was overpriced to begin with, but we're talking about several $100,000 rate cuts and no activity on the buy side. And agents are calling it the quiet crash that nobody wants to talk about, because prices remain sticky. But as far as demand is concerned right now, liquidity seems to be gone completely, and sellers are chasing the market downward, with price reductions happening every 2 to 3 weeks. And the prudent, patient, disciplined, financially savvy buyer, those buyers are waiting. They're not bidding. And even FHA and VA buyers have leverage today. Florida went from too hot to fail, too expensive to sustain. Cash buyers are holding out, waiting for distress, and institutional investors and even mom and pop investors are quietly dumping inventory. And some builders in some markets are so desperate to get these homes off their balance sheet, they're offering $50,000 cash reductions and incentives galore in order to stimulate demand. In some instances, they desperately want to move inventory. And if you've been watching for a while, you know that I've said the leading indicator as to what direction prices are going to go will come from builders, will come from developers. Because if they start offering massive incentives, it's a leading indicator that the market has changed radically. And the market has changed radically. And while there are lots of things that are happening from a government perspective that are trying to stimulate the economy, like DeSantis talking about getting rid of property taxes in the state of Florida for full-time residents, that will definitively have an impact on demand for homes in South Florida. And now Trump is proposing a 50-year mortgage, which I suspect will have horrible long-term unintended consequences, but they're trying to stimulate the economy. They're trying to stimulate demand. They're trying to pull a rabbit from their hat, and maybe it's going to be effective, but I don't suspect they're going to meaningfully drop in a way that's actually very helpful for affordability up until Big Papa Powell, Jerome Powell, is out of office. And when he's gone, I do suspect that we're likely to see mortgage interest rates trading in the fives, which will definitively unlock many folks sitting on the sidelines waiting to buy or sell. Because a meaningful mortgage interest rate drop definitively unlocks a metric shit ton of buyers and sellers who feel trapped in their home right now in much more affordable mortgages. But that rate drop isn't going to fix affordability overnight. And right now what I'm seeing is a two-tier market. We have realistic sellers, because the right home priced the right way will definitively sell. But unfortunately, this two-tier market is counterbalanced by unrealistic holdouts. Sellers who think that their opinion of value means something and that their home is worth more than what the market is. But the truth is, your home is only going to be worth what a ready, willing, and able buyer will pay for it right now. And if you don't have any buyers, that is the clearest indicator possible that the market is rejecting your price. And the unfortunate reality is, your home that's not selling is because it's overpriced. And the market is always right. It does not care about my opinion of value, your opinion of value, or anybody else's opinion of value. Supply and demand will always dictate price. And to be abundantly clear, I'm talking about a macro picture right now. Each market will always trade with a different intensity of supply and demand. And despite the fact that Redfin is calling for a housing recession and a market crash, and Zillow is also on the record as saying that sales prices are likely to decline, in some instances, they're right. But real estate is hyperlocal, and it's critical to understand the intensity of supply and demand in the hyperlocal market in which you're thinking about buying or selling. So if you are thinking about buying or selling anywhere in South Florida, please reach out, because we would love to help. We specialize in finding your dream home, dream lifestyle, negotiating the best deal possible. And if you're thinking about selling, we will price it the right way in order to ensure we create a market within a market, which creates multiple buyers which bid the price higher, getting you the result that you want, not sitting on the market unsold, hoping and praying that some sucker will come from New York and overpay with a boatload of cash. And yes, there will be lots of folks from New York who want to move to Florida, but they're not stupid. They're not going to overpay. I don't suspect there will be enough of them to meaningfully impact the market demand in most markets. But they might. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not an economist, and I'm also not a fortune teller. But I am committed to sharing the truth so that you can make the best decisions for yourself, for your family, and your financial bottom line. So if you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace.